Taxi Driver is a 1976 classic directed by Martin Scorsese which follows the life of honorably discharged veteran Travis Bickle. I will be looking at the narrative of Travis in terms of the viewer's character interpretation. I'm going to analyze Travis's disposition and touch a little bit on how Scorsese's filming techniques affect it. The film opens to a screen filled with hazy smoke and the dark night of New York City, much like Travis's hazy and dark life, as we soon find out. In one of the first scenes of the movie, we watch Travis apply to become a taxi driver because, as he says, he spends most of his nights driving around, so he might as well be getting paid. He is asked about his driving record, and he says it's clean, like his conscience, an odd remark that makes us wonder how clean his conscience really is. The film is what most would consider to be a film noir, as it's cast in a dark lighting, often with lots of contrast, with the dark strongly representing Travis's internalized issues and bleak lifestyle.
So what do you do now?
Ride around nights mostly, subways, buses. Figure, I'm gonna do that, I might as well get paid for it.
How's your driving record?
It's clean. It's real clean, like my conscience.
Are you gonna break my chops?
One interesting technique Scorsese applies in this film is framing such that a scene almost misdirects what we should be watching. We see this in the first scene, shown here, where Travis is being interviewed, and because of the setup of the shot, our attention is almost drawn to the men in conversation in the background of the scene rather than the man interviewing Travis. This may be representative of Travis's off-balance and misdirected lifestyle, meaning that this odd shot would fit his character very well. Throughout the film, Travis becomes increasingly upset with the prostitution occurring in his city. It wears on his mental state and has acted as a proponent in the steep decline of his mental health. At one key point in the movie, Travis becomes so worked up that he buys a multitude of guns, hoping to take matters into his own hands. At this point, we see an extremely important theme in this movie expose itself, which is cathartic violence. The Vietnam War, which had ended just a couple of years before this movie was released, played a massive role in stylistic influence in movies, especially in terms of cathartic violence. The war also helped Hollywood enter a new time filled with action movies, where the character often had a military background, making it easier for the audience to relate since so many had served. Travis's dichotomy is torn between a put-together man, the one that we see trying to get a job, a girlfriend, and organize his life, and the more treacherous man who is revealed by the movie's end. His attempt to reassimilate to society in a life after war likely plays the biggest role in this difference. His release of emotion through murder towards the end of the movie is a prime example of cathartic violence. Something interesting about the character development that Martin Scorsese uses in the movie is that we never really like or dislike Travis. In many of the scenes in his apartment, we see his inner workings and momentary self-awareness. His actions of violence or peace change based on the situation he's facing, which makes him a real human and very relatable to the viewers. While his actions may not be justified, because the story being told gives us a sense of how his mind works and the internal conflict of peace and anger he faces, we naturally feel a sense of sympathy for him. Throughout the movie, we see examples of Travis's disconnect with society, but not for lack of trying. He's continuously brought down by others and ends up internalizing the results. One example is as he enters an adult movie theater, he decides it's a good point to hit on a woman worker at the front desk, but of course does so without success. At another point in the movie, he even tries to bring a date back to the adult theater to join him in watching a movie, showing how separated he really is. Later, political candidate Palantine is in Travis's taxi, and Travis tries to suck up to him and impress him with telling him how he tells his passengers to vote for Palantine, but ends up making his political passenger feel awkward and slightly alarmed. These events illustrate Travis's continued issues with obsession for social connection and normality. Early on, it's about getting together, getting a girlfriend, a job, and being organized. Getting a girlfriend actually ends up being another obsession as he continuously tries to get Betsy after his failed movie theater attempt. The last obsession of the movie is that of retribution through violence. Whether it's the assassination attempt on Palantine or murder of Sport, Travis has to have some sense of vengeance to ease his mind. In the final scenes of the movie, after shootouts between pimps and gangsters, we find out that the newspapers have decided Travis was a hero trying to stop crime. To me, this finally gives Travis some sense of connection to society. He knows people are thankful for what he's done. The last scene is Travis giving Betsy, the failed girlfriend, a taxi ride. He glances at her multiple times in the rearview mirror and gives her an odd smirk as he drives away, showing that Travis is likely not totally healed. Well, he got lucky this time. Next time his anger takes control, he may not be the hero.